Welcome to another Stretch with Dave. I, of course, am Dave. I have a box here. You could be using a chair or a bench. I wanted to focus a little bit on some ankle mobility today, just because I'm feeling like I'm having some tight calves. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a leg up on our bench or our chair in sort of this half lunge position, right? I'm not fully down, and all I'm doing is I'm going to push the leg that's on the bench into dorsiflexion, which is essentially I'm trying to bring my shin or my knee over my toe. And if you have a little bit of a higher surface, like myself, you might even feel a little bit of a stretch in your planted legs hip flexor. And we'll switch sides. Again, I'm just driving that knee forward, and you can assist it with the hand. But we're just getting some mobility, some comfort in that dorsiflexion, which is often a motion that people aren't very comfortable with and can't go very far into. The thing that's holding me back today is my trail leg hip flexor. So now I'm going to use this surface. I'm going to take an exaggerated step back with my right foot, and I'm just pressing that heel into the ground while keeping my chest elevated. And we'll switch sides. Again, the big thing with this is I try to keep my chest elevated so I have that nice straight line all the way from my head to my ankle. I'm going to show you something you can do with an elevated surface like this, but if you don't have, like if you're only using a chair, I suggest you go into the seated pigeon where we're sitting across. But if you have something like, a bed or this box, what we can do is we can cross our leg on top of that surface. And this is a little easier for some people to get into rather than the pigeon pose on the ground. I find it's a more intense stretch than the classic pigeon pose. Without needing to get on the ground, you can use something like your bed to do this. But you can really feel that stretch in the hip abductor there. And you can even move through this one. It's really easy to just move through it, feel some mobility around the joint. And you can circumduct the hip in this position. You can rock forward and back. We'll switch sides. So again, you could just be doing regular pigeon pose here. You could be doing a seated pigeon pose, whatever you prefer. But if you're able to do this, I suggest you give it a try and try moving through the stretch, right? Like circumduct the hip, that means moving the hips in circles. You can come forward and back. And try to get that chest a little bit more lifted. Awesome. And then we're just going to go into our forward fold combo. Then we'll do our chair hamstring just to get some dynamic movement throughout our stretch here. So crawling down, front of the body. I'm going to pull back on my left fingers, arms overhead, hips to the left, lean to the right. Hips to the right, lean to the left. And again. Pulling back on the right fingers this time. And this time, when we come up, we'll be pushing down on our left fingers. Pushing down on our right fingers. And we'll go to our chair hamstring. So this is a little higher, so I'm already feeling a more intense stretch in my hamstring. I'm pointing my toe towards the shin and then just that slight lean forward. And again, with any static stretch, you can just sort of move through it as well, right? Moving the hips side to side, you can move forward and back. A little harder to circumduct the hips here. And we'll switch sides. We're not going to do the turns today. Good. And our last standing stretch today, we're just going to do the door frame stretch. I'm lucky enough to use these TRXs here. And today, I think I'm going to go more in this Y pattern. So again, you could be doing this through a door frame. You could be doing, just show you the Y pattern here. You could be doing this single side on a wall. I just have my arms more in a Y. If you're more comfortable with having your arms down, get the chest lifted, whatever's best for you. I don't want to say most comfortable because sometimes the stretch that we need the most isn't always comfortable. And the nice thing if you ever use the TRX like I showed you last week is you can do something like the Snow Angel where you get a full range of motion. All right, so we're going to move our way to the mat. We have one more ankle mobility exercise that we're going to do. So you can do more of a downward dog with this, or you can do this in a plank. I'll show you both. So my downward dog's not the best, but we'll get into that downward dog position. And what you can do is you can alternately pump the heels down. And if you're going from the plank position, so I'm just going from the low plank position, I would just alternate or just drop my heels down in this position. You can even do this, in the high plank position, which is a little easier, but then you get a little bit closer to that downward dog. We'll drop into that child's pose, and we're just going to hold the child's pose today. So hips back, crawl forward, and again, you can rock from side to side on this, and go forward and back. Or you can just hold it. Maybe on each breath, try to sink a little deeper. I do like to move side to side on these child poses, and then I can just really feel the lat stretch. And we'll go into our cat to cow, arching the spine up, tucking the chin, and then bringing the spine to neutral, chin to neutral, and just alternate on your own pace there. I think I had bad placement on my microphone today. I apologize if it sounds kind of funny. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that stretch with Dave. Hopefully it sounded and looked okay. I'm still getting used to teaching class on some different equipment. But as always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave me a comment, send me a message, and I'm always happy to change things up to better suit your needs. But I will see you in the next video or at the gym.